Good morning, everyone. It's a Friday, and boy, is it time to get into the weekend. I'm hoping that everything can work okay. We've got a huge power outage in our area, so I'm trying to come on to you on my hotspot. Give me a little break here if you see it stutter. I've got my moderator, Ashlyn, letting us know if we've got any issues. Right now, it's showing on my end that you may have some limited bandwidth, which means you might have me cut out on you. I'm hoping that's not the case, but she's going to keep in touch with me and let me know. We're hoping to do a little Fitness Friday. Yeah, now it says exceptionally low bandwidth. So if that happens, folks, and if it affects, I'm being told it's blurry, but you can hear me. Okay. If it affects the broadcast, we're not going to continue on with it. And I might do something with you a little bit later because I don't want to affect it big time. Good morning from Fort Laramie, Ohio at the country concert, Sean says. Good morning, Ashlyn. Good morning, Julie. To all of you that are signing on again, bear with me. I'm told it's blurry. And if it stays that way, that's not how the broadcast should be for you. And I don't want that. So I'm going to be in touch with Ashlyn. Let's do the one thing that you definitely need, and that is to know what the weather is going to be like for not only today, but into this weekend and into next week, because it's going to be exceptionally hot. Let's see if this works.
Alrighty, welcome back into this new more weather forecast video. This one has been looking significant for a couple of days. So
good morning to you. All right, everyone. I don't know what you're seeing right now. Again, on my end, it's showing that you may not be seeing this. I'm hoping that maybe you see Beckett Moore, aspiring meteorologist Beckett Moore. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
And yeah, see, now he's frozen on me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't hear Beckett, and I don't want to do the broadcast this way. So let me take a quick break. I'm going to check in with my team, and most likely we're not going to be able to do it this way, which is a shame. Oh, somebody said, I see you and I see Beckett. The problem is I can't see Beckett or hear him. Can you all hear Beckett? And Ashlyn, can you please let me know if everybody can hear him? Beckett, you can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say I don't, which is going to create the problem because I cannot.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take a quick break. We're going to try to see if we can stay on with this, but my fear is we can't, which means I will check in with all of you later. You all might be able to, but I'm told that it's blurry. I'm gonna get in a quick call with Ashlyn. I don't know if Dot or Becca can hear me. I don't see or hear them, which obviously would create the problem. So let me try to take a quick commercial break, but I am thinking that we're going to have to come on to you a little bit later when this power outage is fixed.
When I started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use MyPillows, $25. MyPillow sandals, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium MyPillows with all new Giza fabric, any size, any loft level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over, your entire order ships absolutely free. When I started MyPillow, it was...
All right, everybody, I'm going to try to come back. I'm sorry if I just cut into a commercial. Again, I don't see anything. I'm told that you all can. So I'm going to do this. I'm hoping that you see Beckett Moore, our aspiring meteorologist. I'm going to let him tell you about the forecast, and I hope you actually see it clearly. If you don't, then like I said, we're going to end the broadcast, because right now, if you saw my end, I'm actually going to let my moderator know what you see here. And I love the fact that we're so real, but I want everybody to see what I'm seeing here so that I can let my team understand what I have on my end. But for you, what matters most is that you actually get your forecast. So let's try to bring him on, and I'm going to see if you get a chance to actually see him, which will matter. And then we might check in with our friend Dot Fleshman to talk a little real estate. If we can get this to work, that would be a God wink. All right, here's Beckett Moore. Hopefully you can hear him and see him.
All right. Good morning from near Grafton, Illinois right now as we're along the Mississippi River. We still do have that river flooding here. We peaked at about around 23.5 feet here in Grafton on Wednesday. And if you pan off to my left, you can actually see on the ground the water was right where I'm standing. So yesterday when we came here and took some photos, we actually couldn't get here because there's water on this road. And we were staying over here on Monday. We're not staying there now because there's a lot more water. It has risen, but it has gone down since Wednesday. Again, Wednesday we were about 23.5 feet. Now we're at about 23 feet here in Grafton, which is good news. But we're going to slowly see the river go down, that river flooding go down into the action stage of flooding, which is the lowest stage. And that's probably going to be in probably a week and a half or later. So once we get into late July, that's likely when we're going to go below 20 feet and that river flooding will really subside here. But the forecast this week, today we got a high of around 91 degrees with mostly sunny skies. A couple of isolated storms can't be ruled out, but there's a very low chance for that. Then as we go into tomorrow, we're going to be warming up 94 degrees, but still a very nice day. Again, 20% chance of isolated storms, but again, that's a very low chance. And mostly sunny skies. And then going into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we're going to have a 3-day stretch of very hot days. 97 on Sunday. Monday, we could get up to 100, 99, 100 degrees with those heat indexes getting into the mid hundreds there, 105 up to 108 there as we get into Monday, and then Tuesday as well, 98 degrees. Thankfully, though, as we go into Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to be dropping down into the 80s, which will actually be below average for this time of year. So we got to get through those hot days. It is going to be sunny, though, so it's going to be nice. Definitely some good pool days, but you're going to want to take the proper precautions for that heat as we go Sunday, Monday, into Tuesday.
All right, I hear him a little bit, and I have got a picture that was sent to me. We've been showing you these pictures of Beckett over the last week or so of the water he was standing in, and even more water, and even more water. As you can see him here, it is showing you that Grafton, Illinois area. So it's no joke when we're talking about the flooding. Again, since we're not going to have the opportunity to have an incredible conversation like I normally would, and maybe you're seeing the back and forth, I'm trying to look and be my own moderator right now, so since nobody's here with me, but I can see that you can see the pictures. All right, there's Beckett and I together, and I'm hoping you can hear. Beckett, I just want to say again, as I've been saying since January, you are incredible. I can't believe that you're only 14 years old. I can't wait to see what happens with your career, but I'm just proud that you're a part of this team, and you just keep leveling up. And I saw somebody on Twitter say that to you, or X say that to you, that they felt, wow, your reporting's getting better and better. They talked about your hand gestures, live field reporting. So I just want to pass that along. And I know all of you that are watching, I would love for you to do the same and tell us what you've really loved about seeing Beckett for the last several months. So how long are you in Grafton, by the way?
We're gonna be in Grafton until this weekend, and then next week we're actually leaving on Sunday, I think. But we're gonna be going to Boone, North Carolina, where my brother's going to college to get him settled in. So we're gonna be there, and we're gonna have the broadcast on Monday from Boone, North Carolina. So that'll be pretty cool.
Fantastic. All right. Well, Beckett, thank you so much. And again, sorry for the internet problems this morning, but I believe everybody heard the forecast. That's all that matters to me. If I can't, then they can. That's all that matters. So thank you. Have a beautiful weekend. And again, thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you, you too.
All right, aspiring meteorologist Beckett Moore, and I'm looking back and forth at some of the comments. Somebody said they wanted to jump in the pool. I want to too. I just want to swim around and just release everything that took place. I came out here thinking that maybe it would be a little bit better, maybe that the issues that we had were inside the house. Don't know. I'm going to start something new today, our social media check, and time to check the text. So where the social media viewers are coming from. So a lot of people say, Monica, it doesn't say 42 on my end. Well, here you go. So right now, nobody on YouTube. We've got 19 of you on one of my Facebook pages. I don't think it does the cumulative. 21 people on X. We've got 2 on Rumble, and it doesn't show Instagram on there. So I'm going to hop over to Instagram. and see if I'm missing anybody's comments on here. Oh, coming through okay. Rob said just a tad pixely. Well, Rob, by the way, thank you for tuning in. I haven't seen you in forever. So yeah, we'll get an opportunity to see where our biggest audience is. But it's also time for you to text your family and friends and tell them that we are on. Sorry for the picture quality, but at least we're able to come on to you. That's what matters to me. We're going to talk a little real estate. And I saw an article the other day that said they had housing market predictions for the rest of 2024 and some of the key takeaways. Low levels of inventory they're talking about. Does that mean that sellers are continuing to have the upper hand in the housing market? Well, we're going to talk with our expert. We're talking about mortgage rates. We're going to talk about whether the rates are going to drop or increase. I'd like to know a national story that I heard about, which was talking about the generation that's like in their early 20s, mid 20s, their first time house, and that they are opting to not pay their student loans because they have to choose between gas for their car, paying for their rent, or paying for their mortgage. And then they are opting to not do their student loans, hoping that maybe that'll be wiped away. So many things I want to talk about with regards to that. And then we're going to do a little Friendship Friday with Fleshman, again, with Coldwell Banker Gundaker. She is the expert in the real estate side, but then friendship side, she talks about where your friendships come from and then being able to really put your heart and soul into those friendships, the circle that you have. I mentioned yesterday. I actually don't know if she saw yesterday's show, so I'm going to go through something with her that I saw at church and with all of you if you didn't get a chance to do that yesterday. We've got that on Friendship Friday when we return. Everyone knows about Jody's balls, and why is that?
I have the best ball.
Oh my God. Oh, wait.
When I started My Pillow, it was just a problem solution one product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use My Pillows, $25. My Pillow sandals, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium My Pillows with all new Giza fabric, any size, any loft level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over, your entire order ships absolutely free. When I started My Pillow, it was just a problem solution one product company. Well,
All right, everyone, welcome back. If you're just tuning in, I'm asking you to bear with us this morning because there is a widespread power outage. And I guess do me a favor and let me know, do you have a power outage at your house as well? This one originally told us it was going to come back on at 8 a.m. So I thought maybe we would come to you a little bit late at 8 o'clock, or that we weren't going to be able to come on at all. I have to say I'm glad that you're seeing us, and I'm actually watching on my phone. Obviously, there's a little delay here, so I apologize for the overlapping of commercials or anything like that. Bear with us. You know, if you're a kind soul, then you know that there are things that happen in life and you got to do what you got to do. So I am seeing that we're on, which is a good thing. I guess you can hear me okay. Let me know if you have any major issues because I don't want to continue if there are any major problems. But I love the fact that we were able to get that hot forecast in with Beckett, which is just absolutely crazy how hot it's going to be, and that we picked a Cardinal game on Sunday on one of the hottest dang days. So I think we're definitely going to be back hiding in the air conditioning as much as we can. Somebody said they have power. Oh, you have power. Okay. I'm glad you have power. If you don't have power, that's what I want to know. Do you have power outages in your area? Ours now says it may not be back on until about 10:30 this morning. So I'll be checking in with all of you a little bit later just to see how things are going. Now, what I see from my computer and what you're seeing is completely different. So I'm just hoping, and I can't look at what Ashlyn, connection is pretty stable and clear. Okay. Sounds good. I'm not going to move. I'm not going to move. I'm just going to introduce our guest. This is Dot Fleshman. I hope you can hear her okay. She's got some important things to talk about in the real estate realm and then also from a friendship standpoint. First of all, good morning, Dot.
Good morning, Monica. I have
All
missed
right,
you.
I've missed you. We have to see each other in person and not like this. Okay,
No,
you see that?
right?
All right. I'm glad that you all can see the background because I see black behind Dot right now, but I'm glad you all see the fun rainbow. So, good morning, my friend, first of all. I hope you've been well. I know that you've been busy, which in your field is a good thing, right?
It is a good thing, and I have been busy. It's been great.
So, one thing that I want to show, and this is a kudos and a congratulations, and again, hoping that you see it okay. How proud are you of this award that you got?
Yeah, that was my girlfriend called me and she says, "Hey, I just saw you in St. Louis Magazine." I said, "I don't think so." I said, "There's another Dot Fleshman, believe it or not, that's a real estate agent, but not in the local area." And she says, "No, it's you." And so, yeah, that was pretty exciting. It's interesting.
Well, you should be very, very proud of that. And I know one of the things that Dot has talked about in the past is that she doesn't do this for awards. She doesn't do it for, braggadocio, which is what a lot of people are like, oh, I've got this award. I've got that award. I was never big into them in my field. Everybody, you actually had to pay to get into even be considered for Emmys. And it was just a lot of politics in it. I was like, just do it for the passion. And I know that what you do every day is that you wake up, you love what you do, right?
That's right. And it's like you do it for your clients and it doesn't matter what price range you're in from low to high. Everyone deserves to be in a home that they love, and that is my job. And that is probably why I get referrals. You work with someone, they appreciate, everything that you offer them to help them to get them into their house. And a lot of times it's not easy. A lot of times it's a little bit of a struggle to kind of get from showing a house to close. And there's a lot that goes, in the middle of that, between inspections and appraisals, et cetera. So to get someone to close is always such a great day. And it's because these guys get to be handed the keys or get to hand over the keys to someone else to their home. So yes.
And Dot, for those that have not seen you on in the past months with me, tell them how long ago you got into it. I mean, it's been fast for you because Dot came from a background in a lot of other things, but she felt this calling. And I think that's what a lot of you need to hear in this message is you can be going along in life and at any given point, if you feel like again, whatever your beliefs are, Dot and I are big into God, whatever your beliefs are, that you feel a higher power calling you to do something else, start listening to that. So tell them about your walk of life.
Yes. So I spent 29 years in the hospitality industry, spa, salon, fitness centers, et cetera. And right when COVID hit, I thought to myself, gosh, I'd been wanting to get into real estate. So if I get, furloughed and then terminated, because of COVID, that was going to be my new role. And that did happen. And it was okay. It was just my time to take another turn. So I decided to get into real estate. And yes, it's only been about 3 years at the moment. However, I have learned so much and have gotten to where I am just because you just continue to educate yourself, you continue to get out there, and you make this your full-time job. This is you go to work every single day, and your job is to make a difference to people in society and in our community. And part of the community is also the philanthropic things that I do. Whether it's through my church or through the junior league or through Circus Flora, et cetera. You're constantly doing something there to enhance the philanthropy. So you're talking to people there, you're talking to people at work, and that's kind of a little merge of what we're going to talk about a little bit, where you meet your people.
Yep. Yeah, well, we talked yesterday, and I'm going to do this little workshop thing with you, and then you can share it with me afterwards if you want to. But it's really a private thing where you find out what your tribe is. Before we continue on, I know a lot of you are tuning in every second. I'm looking at our numbers go up in all the platforms. We're on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Rumble. And collectively, we've got 50 of you. And I'm seeing a big part of our audience coming from X, which I absolutely love because we just recently added that. So you can see kind of the breakdown, something new, the social media check will continue to do. And as I said, time to text and tell your family and friends that we're on right now. Let them know that Dot is on, giving you some help in the summer. going into fall, going into winter housing market. Let me give Dot's information, and I'll have Ashlyn put it in the moderating as well. Dot Fleshman, real estate agent, again with Coldwell Banker Gundaker. Her phone number for you to talk to her about buying, selling, things you need to do before to get ready and organized is 314-324-3317. You can go to dotfleshman.com, and then her email address is Fleshman at cbrealty.com. And I would love for you to reach out to her if it's you or if it's someone right now that you're thinking, hey, my family, my friends, they need to talk with her. So let me ask you this. I saw this the other day, Dot, that people, have you been hearing this as well? That, and maybe there's even more people that have had long time student loans that they're saying, forget it. They're looking at where we are in the world right now, and they're having to make choices. And I heard a national story saying that people were opting out of paying their student mortgages because, or student loans, I should say, because they have to say, do I have enough money to pay my rent, my mortgage, gas prices going up, things like that. Have you been listening to that?
So it's interesting. I have not heard anything about the student loans and whether people are paying them or not paying them. But it is very interesting. The economy, we've been dealing with that for the past couple of years in regard to the affordability of housing affordability. And, it's sad that someone is not going to pay their student loan. What they really should do is pay something, whether it's just a little bit, but maybe it's because there has been talk in the past, from our government stating that they would maybe delete student loans. I don't know. And it's not really for everyone when they choose to say that. So I'm not really sure on the student loan aspect of it.
Okay, so it's just, again, if you want to look a little bit more into that, or you might just be experiencing it, saying, yep, I've been there. It was something that was done, again, nationally. But let me bring it to this, Dot. There was an article on KMOV the other day, actually just a few days ago, that talked about housing market predictions for the rest of 2024. And the key takeaways in this article were this: low levels of inventory mean that sellers continue to have the upper hand in the housing market. Mortgage rates have come down from their peak, but are still high, and steep home prices are dissuading would-be buyers. If rates were to drop further, that would spur the market for both buyers and sellers. What are your thoughts on what I just gave you on the key takeaways from that article?
So home prices are still beginning to stabilize, basically. And, we're no longer in 21, 22, 23 where, prices are crazy. We are starting to stabilize, and it is going to improve slightly. But you are correct. We still do have low inventory, but there's a couple of things that kind of work hand in hand there. You're going to have your low inventory. Right now rates are not bad. When we're talking 6 and 7%, that's just not bad. I mean, we have lived already in 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. My first house, I told you last time, was 14%. So 7 is nothing. And, sometimes we're not really even looking at the percentage of interest when you're looking at the need, because you can always refinance. That's something that we know we're planning for spring of next year, maybe even the end of this year. There's a lot going on in our world right now. But bottom line is you can still get an affordable house based on what you're looking for. I mean, you just have to work within your means. And, I guess right now I'm just thinking about these people that you just talked about who are going to trying to make a difference between paying their student loan and their house. I mean, I don't, you have to live within your means. So I'm not really sure about that. How I would direct that person. I would never tell someone not to, pay their student loan, which, by the way, you have to pay. You can get out of loans and, okay, let me just back up here.
Okay.
Death and taxes, those things are going to happen. But one thing you can't get out of, and that is your student loan. I'm telling you, if you do the research, you cannot get out of a student loan. You have to either pay it off or refinance it or do something, but that will have to get paid. But our government has been sharing that they're going to pay off student loans. And so I'm supposing right now in someone's mind, they're thinking, well, I guess I don't need to, make that payment then.
Yes, and that's not a mindset. Well, I think the problem is that so many people are looking at the forgiveness being wiped away and they're hoping that, oh, well, maybe that'll affect me. So I just won't pay it because eventually it'll just be wiped away. You
Right,
can't live that way.
right. That's what I'm saying. It's like I
Yeah.
just even if you just pay a little bit. I mean, I don't know, my suggestion, but just pay a little bit. Don't just not pay it, you know.
Exactly. Just try to pay everything down. But I mean, we're in a world of such uncertainty. People are looking at interest rates, people are looking at taxes, people are looking at high grocery prices, gas prices, and it's just frustrating to them. And then they're trying to get their dream home. And I know you probably hear all this because you're out showing
Yes,
houses.
yes.
You're dealing with that. What's the thing that people are most scared about, Dot?
Um, Low inventory, finding the house.
Yep.
Two things. If they want to sell their house, but they're afraid to sell their house because they don't know if they can find a house. So
Right.
we have to be creative. We have to kind of be ready to put the house on the market, ready to sell it. But at the same time, we're going to be looking, and we're going to get out there and we're going to look, and we're going to maybe look at. So, for example, if you can afford a $500,000 house and you cannot find something in the $500,000 range, we may look in the $350,000 to $400,000. Maybe we find a house that's got good bones that maybe needs a little renovation, and we get a renovation loan. Make this house exactly the way I want it: the kitchen I want, the bathroom I want, etc. And then we go from there. So there are ways to get someone into a home, even though we do have a lack of inventory. Now, you said something a second ago, when if and when the time. This is really a great time to buy, and these rates do not affect certain people. If you are getting divorced, those rates aren't going to affect you. You've got to release that home. Someone else has to buy it. If your parents pass away and you've got to sell that home, someone's going to buy that home. But we're still selling homes. So
Okay.
there's a lot of reasons that people are out there. People move. They get that call and they say, hey, we're sending you out to another state. They got to get their house on the market. So a lot of times there's a need that's
Yes.
out there. So those people who have that need, they're not focusing on that interest rate because, again, they need to sell a house. The
Yep.
interest rates eventually will go down. We're going to stabilize, and we're starting to see that right now.
That's good. And I think what the problem might be, Dot, that people are hearing, depending on what news station that they're watching or what article they're Googling and reading online, you never know what to believe, what not to believe. And there might be some fear tactics out there, right? Scare tactics that are out there.
Well, you know that best.
Yes, I do.
I mean, the negativity that's on the news or the negativity that's out there, because negativity is what brings someone, to watch. And, but there's still good stuff out there. There are houses that are being bought and sold every day, all day long.
So again, if you are looking to buy or sell, Ashlyn's getting ready to put what I mentioned. I know it's easier for you all to just see it right in front of you in the comments. So yes, Ashlyn, go ahead and push that through. This is going to be Dot's email address and phone number, and of course the website .fleshman.com. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the real estate market. Again, what we're seeing as we hope to see more housing, more inventory, I should say. But I want to talk about suburban migration, which is one of the things that Dot had on here, and then technological integration in real estate. Before we flip into some of the Friendship Friday moments that Dot and I wanted to talk about, have to do with where your friends come from, and something that I learned in church just this past Sunday that I think you're all going to find really interesting. If you didn't see it yesterday, I did it a little bit with people yesterday, but I think you might want to go a little bit more in depth into this. We'll do that when we return. More with Dot Fleshman after the break. All right, everybody's been talking about the pool behind me. Well, do you know that it was put in by my friends at Just Pools? And that's what I find ironic. I mean, we're talking about homes right now. When we moved into this home, we got very, very blessed with this gorgeous pool that is behind me. The one you're seeing on screen is the one at Just Pools. And they're on the West Outer Road in Arnold. And again, I want you to go and support those that support us. So they are pool and spa specialists. One of the things that I love about Madonna and Michelle and Shannon and Tommy, they're just so down to earth, just so real. Again, they fit the same mold as me and my team. If you would like to have an in-ground pool and be able to say, I'm going to jump in my own, make it a reality. You know, so many people were forced to be home during 2020, 2021, 2022, that I think a lot of people looked into, I'm going to have a pool at my house. In-ground, above ground. You want to do the special sun tanning ledges, you want some custom steps, they can do all those things. And one of the things that Madonna told me is that they can put a pool in for you once the season wraps up and they go into fall and into winter, that this can be a reality, that what I have behind me can be yours as early as next summer. And that is awesome because there was such a huge delay for a long time of being able to put pools in for everybody. So Just Pools, again, they have a 10% off right now of all the chemicals. And don't forget to do that, by the way, because you want your crystal clear water. 10% off of chemicals, 30% off all those fun pool toys. You want to get those noodles that I love so much. All of that can be had for you at my friends in Arnold. Again, on the West Outer Road. Go see them today or give them a call and tell them that you saw them on The Real Monica Adams Show. Thank you so much again for being a part of the show. So yes, Dot, when are you coming over, by the way, and jumping in this pool with me?
I'm ready. I've got Sunday on Monday. Maybe we can do something on Sunday.
Sunday, I'm going to the Cardinal game. I'm going to be sitting in that dang heat, but I'll be ready to jump in when the Cardinal game is over so we can time it properly.
All right.
Dot Fleshman, again, has been visiting with us. Dot is a very, very dear friend of mine. And I saw somebody earlier say, wow, Dot, you should be so proud of yourself. Only 3 years in and already one of the top producers. Yeah, if you didn't see earlier, we mentioned that a friend of hers let her know that she was in St. Louis Magazine, again, as one of the top real estate producers. She should be ridiculously proud of that. I'm so proud of my friend. And that's the other thing, is that you need to find people who lift you up. So before we continue and go back into real estate, I want you to think about this, Dot. And I know that you're kind of like me, that you might want to do what we actually did, which was to grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, and then put this on the lines. I want you to think of when you get great news, right? So you become one of the top producers, or you find out that one of your kids is pregnant again, is having a baby, or somebody's getting married or whatever. When you get good news and when you get bad news, who do you call? And I'm wording it that way. Who do you call? And I want you to write down. So if you weren't with us on the show yesterday, do it today. Fill out those 5 lines. And then I'll bring that back up in just a little bit as we get a little bit deeper here into friendship. But feel free to write down. Don't tell me who they are. And you don't have to ever share this list, by the way, with anyone. But write down, and I hope you have 5 people. And if you don't, that's okay too, because you might have already found your tribe, smaller and smaller, that's very real and there for you. So go ahead and do that. Everybody, Dot is doing it right now, but everybody else, if you want to fill that in, and then you can let me know if you did it yesterday and maybe you journaled about it. Maybe you thought, wow, it was a really big wake up call for me of who I call and why I call, etc. So Dot Fleshman, again, let's do more of the real estate before we get into the friendship side. So we're talking about 2 different things here. I went into the break saying that I wanted to bring up 2 more things in real estate before we move on to friendship. Suburban migration. Tell us about that.
So this has been happening for a long time here in St. Louis, but across the country, what's happening is you've got people going from urban areas to suburban areas, and that really started happening when COVID hit, and all of a sudden you didn't have to go to work, you could work from home. And so people started thinking, oh, if I can work from home and if I can work from anywhere, here's where I'm going to want to go. So they're migrating from, the cities and moving out to the counties. But here in St. Louis, that had been happening for quite a while. I mean, I live in the city, and there are a lot of people that still live in the city, but people have been moving out of the city, out to the county areas. But we're talking, so nationally now, that has become the story. Not, and again, I just want to share it's nothing new here in St. Louis, but nationally that has been one of the big things. They're looking for single family homes that that are more affordable than living in a city, because in most cities it's more expensive to live in the city.
Well, in our area, and I hope that we can get some people in office that can change these things, but I hate that we are on these lists of like the top 10 worst crime cities. We've got to get that erased, because if we can't, we're going to lose conventions, we're going to lose money being spent in our city. So many people are saying they don't want to go in the city. You live in the city. Do you feel safe?
Yes, of course I do, because that is, when they're talking about all that bad crime, I mean, it's geographically speaking. So
Right.
geographically, I'm not in those areas. I'm in South City, and a lot of part of the city, leading in towards University City, leading into Clayton, leading into Maplewood, like all these areas. I mean, of course it's safe, but what happens is, again, it's the word bad crime and the word city
Yep.
connected, and people are watching this on TV, on the news, and all they want to do is show yellow tape. This is the city, and I'm like, I'm nowhere even near there. It's like
Right.
people in Greece when they called and they said they saw Ferguson happening with this whole Brown, and they called and they asked if we were okay because everything was on fire. We're like, we're nowhere near that.
Hey, Dot, I'm right there with you. We were in Cabo back in 2021, maybe, or 22. And Jim's like, my husband said, don't tell anybody where we're from. Just say Missouri, right? We said Missouri. Okay. And then right away, people are in the pool. Oh, I'm from Texas. I'm from here. And as soon as we said Missouri, they said, oh, where the shooting was. And I go, I did not even say St. Louis. I said Missouri. It's just,
I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's what's painted out there. So
It's
anyway,
geographic.
so we
So yeah.
want you to think, wherever it is that your heart is telling you to look, go with that. And then you're going to have friends and family that will guide you and say, okay, maybe this isn't the best area. This is a better area if you want to live in the city. But yeah, I find that interesting. I just thought of this with us talking about suburban migration. Are you seeing more and more push out west? Because I see all these new subdivisions and homes going in the streets of Caledonia, that big property development in Cottleville, out Wentzville. We were told in the last 10 years that we would start seeing like Troy, Missouri, again, west. Are you seeing that?
Yes, of course. They are building out there because that's where all the land is. So of course it's
Okay.
just makes sense. So, for years past, everything was going south.
Yep.
Everything was south, building up towards South County, towards that way. But now everything's out west. St. Charles is still probably the biggest area that people are building right now, because number one, excuse me, they do have the land. And number two, people are just migrating out to that area in that way, which is beautiful out there. And again, it's only 30 minutes away.
Well, we considered it. The thing is, coming from the house that we have here, for those of you that don't know, we have 6 acres and it's absolutely beautiful. My mother, who I see just signed on, she would, of course, love for us to look at that way out west, because she's like a good hour from us. But it's trying to find that happy medium. At some point, for somebody who wants to, I don't know how much longer we'll live in this house, because my husband's getting tired of taking care of the 6 acres, as you know, Don.
Right.
He's like, we got to downsize, Monica. And when we do that, we'll be talking to Dot, because she's going to find our forever home. This isn't our forever home. At some point, somebody can get this beautiful place. I do love it. My little backyard oasis here. Okay, before we wrap up and go into friendships, technological integration in real estate. What's that?
So, things are so different nowadays, where you can, if you're ready to buy a house, you get online and you start you either have an app on your phone, or you
Yep.
go online and you just start searching houses and you start looking. And that's the start of where people do start to look. But it's always important to make sure that you have a buyer's agent. If you're looking for a house, you want to have a buyer's agent. You want to reach out to someone who's going to help you with which community to be in. Maybe you already know which community you want to be in, but you really want to have someone who's there to support you, to help you with your contracts, to help you to get in. And now, back in the days, you don't have to go, to the agent's office to get the keys. Everything now, you can open, everything with a Supra, with your cell phone, and we
Yep.
make things so much easier. So I can send you information for your lender. I'm going to connect with you. You're not pre-approved yet. I'm going to send you, again, an app through my phone to connect you to a lender. We're going to get you pre-approved, because in the event you find we go look for a house and you say, oh my gosh, this is it, I love it, I need to show that you're pre-approved. So we'll get you connected to a lender immediately. And then once we start dealing with paperwork, you don't need to come into the office. I don't need to go to you. Again, we can use our cell phones, we can use our laptop, and you're going to DocuSign all of your paperwork. So the technology has made buying a house so much easier than what it was way back in the day.
Oh, amen. Before we bought this house, we had put an offer down on a home in Labadie, Missouri. And then after inspections, found something that we did not expect. We were able to cancel that out, which was good, because that would have broke my heart of like, oh my gosh, we're going to get into all this expense. And then we were in Cabo, and we were literally signing in the pool an offer we were putting on a home, which would have been even further south. We were looking at a beautiful home in Festus, Missouri, but we were literally in the pool and somebody took a snapshot of it. I'm like, look, I might be buying a home in the pool. It's like,
Right.
This is crazy.
Right. The technology, it just makes things so much easier. And, and that's great, because, you don't have to be in the office signing. I don't have to come to your house to sign. This is an easy way. So it has gotten easier to be able to, to get from looking and searching, contacting, your agent and letting them do some of the work. And, agents, we have access to properties that may not even be on there. You might start your search there, and it's important that you do, but at some point we'll sit down and say, what does your dream house look like? How many do you want to have acreages? I just spoke to 3 or 4 people just recently saying, oh no, I want no small. We're downsizing, and that's okay. So we right size, or we downsize, or we upsize. And sometimes right sizing is just going from the same amount of square footage, but maybe it looks differently. Maybe it's in a condo form. Maybe it's in a villa. Maybe it's, so you don't want any more. This is Jim. He's not going to want to do any more cutting grass. Maybe a villa or a condo is going to be his way to go.
But you know what? Dot knows us. I think he would be okay if he would get a darn riding lawnmower, but my brat husband doesn't, because he's stubborn, and then he gets done with it. Now and mind you, everybody, he's not taking care of 6 acres. It's an acre, which still is enough when it's not an old school push mower, but he doesn't have a rider. We have about 5 acres that goes back that is all wooded, but he keeps saying it's on his body, which he says he's getting older, that he wants to downsize. I don't know what that looks like for the 2 of us, but I'd love for you all in the comments. And let me do our little social media check again. I love to know where our audience is coming from. Oh yeah, it just keeps growing on X. I love this. Social media check-in. Time to text your friends and family and tell them that we're on. We're still on. We're going to be on for a little bit more. Facebook, I can see YouTube. See, there's 32 on X. We've got 3 live on Rumble. And I know a lot of you get a chance to watch this later. Please do us that favor, by the way, and share this for those who couldn't watch live. And again, I want to apologize for all of you that are signing on late. There's a huge power outage in our area. So I'm coming on through our hotspot and hoping that you can hear and that you can see okay. So bear with us. I love that you are all so devoted to the show, and I appreciate that so dearly. The rental side, by the way, we mentioned in the last sessions, or the last broadcast that we did together, that more people were maybe opting to rent. Are you still seeing that in more of the younger generation?
Yes, unfortunately, we are. And I think what's happening is exactly what you were talking about earlier. You've got your student loans, you've got the interest rates where they are, which is, I know everyone says, if I would have bought a house when it was at 3%, well, we're not going to be at 3 anymore. We'll probably be staying and playing in 5, 6, and 7. But what's happening is they're coming out of school, they're having their first jobs. They have to be, they've got to save money. So part of saving money is being smart. So instead of buying a house, they're going to rent for a little bit. Rental long-term is not great. I mean, rental long-term, you're going to, every month you're going to make a payment. You're either going to pay someone to rent, or you're going to pay yourself, which is with equity. You're building equity in your home. So it's always better to own a home than to rent. But some people can't rent, and can't own a home, so they rent, which is okay. And there's a lot of great places to rent. It's just that the rent, monthly payments have really gone up as well. Yep. Just like everything has gone up. I don't foresee that I'm not a specialist here. I'm just saying, I don't think we in general foresee that going down. anytime in the future. We see that rents are where they're going to be now, and at some point, they'll stabilize and they'll stop growing.
Yep. Again, so let me give this to you one more time. And if you look in the comments, you'll see that if you want to get in touch with my friend Dot Fleshman with Coldwell Banker Gundaker, her email is dot, and we're going to put period since her name is dot period Fleshman at cbrealty.com. The phone number is 314-324-3317. Go to her website, dotfleshman.com, to find out more. And I know just what was it, a couple months or so ago, somebody was saying, I think it was Crystal Gale, if Crystal's on, that if it was her or somebody else that was in need, that Dot is your person. Yes, she's one of my people, by the way. So thank you all for tuning in again. Let's flip to the friendship side. And the one thing is, as you can probably experience through this platform, is the warmth in Dot. She's got a lot of friends, but what she has found is her friends have grown and grown, and different circles. And I love when you're able to introduce people from different circles. So you mentioned earlier that you also love to be philanthropic. You've seen a lot of friendships start forming from that, haven't you?
Absolutely. So I joined the Junior League about 10 years ago, and I joined because my daughter joined, and I wasn't intending to do it, but then I ended up thinking, gosh, this sounds like right up my alley. So I ended up joining, and I have so many friends, through the Junior League, so many acquaintances, but friends, real good, dear friends, that you bond. So I hear sometimes people thinking, they're out on this island by themselves, or they don't really have a lot of friends, or they don't have, maybe a mom or a sister. And there are so many places that you gain friends from, whether it's church, whether it's something that you're doing like a philanthropy, which is something like maybe helping out in, I had talked about soup kitchens. We do things like through the Junior League called Helping Hands, where you do something like that, where you can do like, we're also part of like the Forest Park Forever. So there's just different things that you go out and you meet people, and you're part of philanthropy, but you're also meeting people. And then as you're meeting people on a regular basis, these people start becoming your friends. They start as an acquaintance and they become your friend. Then you're going to go have a drink, then you go have dinner. Next thing you know, you have commonality. And that's a lot of what friendships are, through commonality. And even in your own subdivisions, people live, in their neighborhoods or subdivisions. You go do things together, grab a few people and say, let's do an ice cream social.
Right.
Let's do a pumpkin carving contest. There's different things that you can do within your neighborhood to be a part of something. And then next thing you know, again, they become an acquaintance, then they become a friend, slowly that way.
Well, and here's the thing that I want you and I to be able to get across to people. You mentioned that so many people feel like they're out on this island all alone. And when I hear that, it really does break my heart. You and I are very, very much into make sure everybody feels included. So if you see somebody at a function, a party, a festival, and you see somebody just all alone, I think you and I are probably very similar, that we would want to go over and say, come over here. I've done it at restaurants, and my husband's always like, Monica, leave them alone. I'm sure they want to be alone. I don't know. Maybe they do. There's a lot of introverted people that just want to break and they want to be by themselves. But in me, whatever that is in my personality, I always want to go, do you want to come play with me? I think I was probably like that as a kid. You come play with me on the playground.
100%. If you're at a big social event and there's people everywhere, and you're with a group and there's, again, people everywhere, and you see one person on their own, there is nothing wrong with going up to them and introducing yourself to them and just saying exactly what you just said. My dear friend Jerry Schultz always says she'd go up to someone and say, hey, do you want to be my friend? And it's a great icebreaker. You just go up to someone and you say that. And maybe introverts would have a hard time saying that. There's nothing wrong with saying that. You introduce yourself and then pull them with you into your little group. No one wants to be over there by themselves or whatever. But, it takes expressives, people with expressive styles to be able to just go grab someone. But no one's on the island by themselves. And, I'm always very cautious about the whole mental health as well. Reach out to your friends on a regular basis. If you haven't heard from them in a while, give them a call, shoot them a text. I don't know if people email anymore, but do something to where, you can reach out to your friend. You haven't seen them in a while. And I try to do that often with my friends.
Okay, and so here's what I'm going to ask you. For those of you that were on yesterday, you've had about 24 hours to think about this. Dot just heard about it today. There was a girl named Missy who evidently was at the same place that I was on Sunday. She was at the crossing. I don't know if she was at 9 a.m. mass or 11. Jim and I went to this 11 o'clock mass, our church, and I took a lot away from it. He looked at it and thought, well, this isn't church. This is silly today. Why are we doing this? And I said, you always have to take the positives out of something or hear the message in something. I took it and said, I right away am going to use this on the show. I'm going to use it in my life coaching that I do with my personal training clients, etc. So you've had a little bit, Dot,
Yeah.
did you fill in 5 lines?
Yes.
Okay. Again, you don't have to tell me who they are. Rich actually was on yesterday, and I thought this was interesting because I just love to put this out to the masses. When you fill in your 5 people that you call for good news, bad news, would you see the list as different for good news and different for bad news?
I would not.
Okay, nor did I, but I thought that was interesting because, again, we're all different in the way we think and feel and our emotions. Rich actually yesterday was on and said that his list looked different. And I said, oh, that's another layer to this that I didn't think about. So and please do me a favor and drop in the comments wherever you're watching. Okay. Yeah, Rich said mine is definitely different. Anybody else on Rich's side where your list is different for the good news people or the bad news people? Here's what I need you to do now. If you weren't on yesterday, this is how it would be, like kind of like a workshop feel, life coaching feel. So Dot, the people on your list on the left side column, and this is for everybody, put crosses next to the people. And let me break this down very slowly. For the people that you feel are, when you're with them or when you talk with them, that you feel it's a very spiritual, maybe faith-based, maybe religious feel, but they don't have to necessarily be talking about God or their faith with you. You can just feel it about them, right? They don't necessarily have to go to church, but you would put a cross next to them because you feel that they are a spiritual being and you have that feel about them. So if it's a faith-based person, if it's a religious person, if it's a spiritual being, then you're going to put a cross next to them. All right? Got that, everybody? Crosses next to their name on the left side column. Then on the right side, when you deliver the good news or when you deliver the bad news, do you come away from that in person or on the phone conversation and you feel that you got a positive connection from them or more of a negative? And I hate to use the word negative, but it's a plus minus. You either put a plus or a minus next to that right side of their name. So if I deliver some news to Dot and all she does is break it down, okay, great, you got a promotion. All right. Okay, great. You were in St. Louis Magazine. Well, so what? Well, other people are in magazines. Some people buy their way into magazines. If I said all that to Dot, she'd be like, wow, well, I don't feel very good about myself anymore. So if I regularly did that to her, right? And there are people in your life right now that want to tear you down, that don't want you to be successful. They don't want you to get the job. They don't want you to lose weight. They don't want to see that you got in a great relationship because they're in their own demons and their own darkness. If that's regularly their mindset, that's not going to necessarily be your people right now. Maybe they can start changing and maybe they become a plus or a minus and it will shift around. Okay, so you've had time to do it. Have you been able to fill it all in, Dot?
Yes. Yes, I
Okay,
have.
so here's one last part. Circle whoever is a cross plus. Did you do it?
Yep.
How many do you have?
All 5.
Oh, that's amazing. So she knows this. Somebody else the other day, Marilyn, said that all 5 on hers. So Dot's learned her tribe. All of you, it's okay if you look at that list and think, I don't have any cross pluses. Well, then maybe you'll start to realize what's going wrong in life for you or for them. The other thing was one of the pastors actually sat on stage, Dot, and said, I look at my list and I know who I call that agrees with me because I want to be right. And I was like, oh, wow, I'm so glad.
Wow.
Right. I'm so glad she gave that up though, because that's being very real. And I thought, yeah, that's not what we need to do. Debbie said, dang it, I wish I could have. Oh, okay. So mine is definitely different. I share my good news with different people than I share my bad news with in general. Yeah, that's interesting. So
My people make sure that they let me know if I'm not right. It's okay.
yes, and that's what we need. We need to be checked in life, right? So
Yeah.
you are very blessed, Dot, of
Yeah.
having, and you could probably add maybe a 6th or a 7th, but now you know your tribe, those people, and hopefully your cross pluses with them What does that mean to you after we've just done that together about having cross pluses and the blessings you feel from that?
Yeah, it just makes me realize, as I had to write that down, like who really I do turn to. And I'm very grateful to have these people on this list that I can turn to, and I can share the good news and I can share the bad news as well. And when I'm sharing the bad news, it's like, I'm just sharing news. Sometimes it's like I don't need confirmation, and sometimes I don't need an answer. I'm just
Yep.
sharing that news. But the fact that I have those people, and that's why I say there are people out in our world that don't have that. They don't have those people. So that's why I always say it's important. I'm very cognizant of that. When I'm around people, whether at work or my clients or whatever. And we have to always look at them, give them a call, follow up with them. They don't have this. There are a lot of people that don't have. Maybe they have one line, one
Yep.
no line, or one line or two. And you're right. I can go down to 6 or 7. I'm fine with where that is, but we should always check in on those friends and make it, like I said, cognizant to every quarter or whenever, every month, every quarter, follow up with them.
Yes.
They're the
Yes.
ones
And
who need it.
remember that it is what we are saying right now, an unbelievable blessing to find the cross pluses in life. But it's also a wake up call. And that's the thing that I took away from it was, oh my gosh, I'm calling the people on this list that don't have a cross and are a minus. And then you walk away from it and you always are feeling tense, or you're feeling not good about yourself. That's the part that I think
Well,
so
you
many
don't call
people.
them.
Yeah,
That's not who you call.
right.
That's
Yeah.
not who you call. I
But
mean,
they don't know that until they do this. And that's why I felt, okay, I know this doesn't feel like regular organized church, Jim. However, what a beautiful takeaway that we all had to start looking at what's going on in our lives. And it's to me, that was crazy powerful.
it was, I'm
Yep.
sure.
Yep. All right. If you're just tuning in again, Fleshman, somebody just said, what are those balls in the pots behind you? Uh,
I can't.
Decoration. Are they
Oh,
lemons? What are those?
oh, um, oh yeah. Here's my lemons. I'm just sitting in my dining room, and these are my little topiary, little balls. I was looking at your pool, thinking they were talking to you. Yeah,
No,
like
I
my
don't
little
have balls in my
earmuff.
see, and this is what you also need more of. You need more laughter in life as well. Okay, so but before we wrap up, I want to know if you and others know about this particular place, because you used to live in Fenton. I know you live in the city now, but have you heard of Adventure Unknown?
No, I have not.
Okay, I need you all to listen right now, because what Dot and I are talking about, this might be what has been missing in your life. This place is incredible. It's where, and I know it says where St. Louis's driven spirits find their tribe, but it's everybody. I don't care if you're from Missouri. I don't care if you're from Illinois. I want you to look at these pictures that we put together, and I want you to put it on your calendar. I'm hoping you can be there, Dot, and I hope you can get a lot of your friends and family to come out and join us. Look at this place. Isn't it absolutely stunning? This is in Fenton, Missouri, and I know you used to live there. So if you go down Bowles and like that Haran area, and then go into I guess it would be more of the industrial district, this is what's waiting there for you. I was introduced by former St. Louis Blues player Reed Lowe, and he's like, I want you to come and look at this place. Come in and find your tribe. So all of this exists in this place. They've got this cool speakeasy. They've got this beautiful space that if you're looking from a business standpoint and you want to have meetings and you want to have a different space and a different feel, I think the cool thing that they've done at Adventure Unknown is bring people together that are like-minded or think completely different that will be their tribe. All right, look at this. I don't know how many of you are into pickleball, but they've got pickleball, they've got ping pong, they've got all these old school video games, something for everyone. And I sat down and talked to a guy who said that he was more introverted and he would not be a person that would normally go up and talk to people. But now he feels so at home. And it's amazing. So they do a lot of things together. They are building a golf simulator. They're building a gym within it. They've got this beautiful outside space that they're expanding on as well. and then they all go and travel together, because what they found is people that are really connecting with each other, suddenly they want to take it beyond that. I mean, we've talked about this before, Dot. You wonder, who can you go and travel with? Because some friends you can, some friends you almost end a friendship after you travel together. But Adventure Unknown is where we're going to be doing our live broadcast on August 8th. And we decided yesterday we're going to do it from 4:30 to 6 p.m. live broadcast, talking about how cool this place is, and then a social hour after that. So I hope you're free. All of you that are watching right now, all of you that watch later, I hope you're free to join this, because I'm just like jumping out of my clothes to say, I can't believe that this exists for us, and that it's been there, and that I didn't know about it. And that's why we're going to bring it to you that day. So don't you wish that was there when you lived there?
I mean, that looks like so much fun, and I'm free, so I'll be
You
there.
are free. All right.
Yeah.
So all of you, I know you've been asking. A lot of you have asked, when's our next Mobile Monica? We do our regular positive talk time, which we just had yesterday. I hope you had a chance to watch that. If not, do me a favor and go back and watch yesterday's, because it was really an unbelievable wake-up call about what we need to be doing in the United States that they're doing in Spain, and some laws and some consequences that should take place for pet owners. And what they're doing is right in Spain, by the way. So positive talk time we'll do next Thursday again. Wet Your Whistle Wednesday, we'll be back at Defiance Ridge next Wednesday. But then our next big Mobile Monica, again, August 8th, 4:30 to 6 p.m. I would love to see you there. Okay, speaking of travel, you're going to Greece soon, aren't you?
September.
September. And how often have you been? How many times have you been to Greece?
Once.
Just
I
once.
was like 11 or 12. I was real young. Yeah.
So what are you most excited about?
Probably meeting my family. I mean, I was 11 or 12, and didn't really know much back then. But my daughter was able to go to Greece, and she's in Italy right now. But she was able to go to Greece, and she did a study abroad, and she got to actually meet my family. And a couple have passed away since then, but I'm anxious to kind of reconnect and see them and introduce them to Ron, of course.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. That's definitely always been on my bucket list. Jim's always been wanting to go to Italy because his mom's side of the family is from Italy. Have you ever been to Italy?
I have not. But but Ron has, and I'm looking forward to hearing from Athena, who the whole family just went. So
Yeah. Again, do what you can do. And obviously, you got to stay within your financial means. I get that. But so many people put these things off for 5 years, 10 years, or like, oh, we'll do that then. And unfortunately, we're not promised tomorrow. So that's how my mind starts thinking now of, I'm going to go in about just a little over a week with some friends to Cabo. We're going to go again in September with some couples. I wanted Dot to go, but she's going to be in Greece at that time. And then we're going to Italy. We're making it happen. Finally, the dream trip. We're going to Italy. It's going to be a little bit more of a business trip, but we're going to Italy in November. And so the message I can get to all of you is make it happen, right? Make it happen.
yes, it is. And this has been about how many years in the making? So in 2017, Athena got engaged. Well, we wanted to go that year. Well, then we had an engagement. We're going to be planning a wedding. The following year we had a wedding. The following year we had a baby. The following year we had COVID. Then we had another baby. I mean, and then it was like my son got engaged and then he got married. So there was so much happening,
Yep.
that I felt the need to kind of just like be here to be helping with everything. And this is like our time to go. So this is our time before we start the next generation of babies.
Exactly. Well, those are more blessings, right? You have more growth that's happening within your family. I just have fur babies that are over here eating grass right now. I have fur babies. I got to replace that. I have fur babies that are shedding on me. And we got to love all the babies that we have. Count all those blessings for sure. One of the things that Dot and I wanted to bring you is education, laughter, friendship. I have to laugh because when we were talking, Debbie wanted to know what was behind you and you thought it was behind me. And we said what we said. It looks like Rich said, take it easy there, girls, on the balls. And Michelle said, geez, Rich, so sensitive about the balls. It's laughter, right?
Right.
Just we can't take ourselves seriously.
Right.
Well, Dot, I thank you so much. And I'm so glad that we actually were able to make this happen, because I talked to Beckett and to Dot this morning and I said, I don't know if it's going to happen. There's a huge power outage. Still is. I know watch this.
You did say that you did say it would work with a little God wink. So maybe
I did, right?
right?
God made it happen. He's like, I want you all to have the message out there.
Right.
You may have had to try to work through some sketchy video and some sketchy audio here and there, but thank you for staying with us on it. And again, some new things that we've put onto the show. You can see where people are watching from. We've got a big audience, but they're quiet. That's what I think is funny. There's 32 of you right now on X, but I don't see the comments coming in on X. 3 of you on Rumble. We've got 14 of you on Facebook, 4 of you on YouTube, so we can see that. That's real time watching live, and we greatly appreciate it because we know you're busy in the morning, but we've got so many people that get a chance to watch it later. If you have any questions about the current housing market, you're getting ready, or you think you might be getting ready here in the next several months, reach out to Dot for me, please, and let her be your real estate agent. Again, 314-324-3317, and then Fleshman at cbrealty.com or her website, fleshman.com. I'm so glad it was able to work, Dot. I really am.
I've really missed you, so we've got to get together.
Please, but that's the thing. You know what? That's the message for everybody as we wrap up. Put it on the calendar. Otherwise, it doesn't happen, right?
I'll call you right after this.
We're going to make it happen for sure. And I've got this to wrap up. Thank you, Dot, so very much.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, the final slide that I have here for you, and I hope that you can see it okay. This is actually from The Power of Positivity. And if you don't follow them, I highly recommend you do so because you can get a little bit extra positivity every single day. Train your mind to see the good in everything. Positivity is a choice, folks. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. I thought that was so profound and something that you really need to start thinking about a little bit more. So if you have negative thoughts constantly, then your life is looking negative, right? It's more of those minuses on that page that we discussed. If you can start seeing the positive in every situation, that's the gratitude I ask for you to do in the evening. Find something in the day that you feel went right. On this show, if you're brand new to it, we have fun, as you heard us laughing. We educate, and we have stories of hope. And I want to thank Michelle Harmon for working so hard this last week on putting these really beautiful promos together for you to watch the journey that we've had the last year. And we're going to end the show with both of these stories of hope and the goofiness and craziness that is me. And I'm all of that wrapped up in one, the real Monica Adams. And I ask for you all to go out, enjoy your weekend. Please stay hydrated, be smart, check on those dogs, check on the elderly, make sure that you take care of you, and be kind. God bless you all. He wants to say, I can't believe I took your son's life. I don't know what I was thinking. I have so much regret and remorse. I've changed my life. Would you accept that apology?
I've never thought of that. Yeah, I would.
Do you think, because you talk about forgiveness, do you think that you all can ever forgive one another and come back together?
It wasn't just right. I'm not perfect. Just because my name is Bush, I don't have it all figured out. And I think they know that too.
I was cyclically depressed, so I could be the happiest person you ever met at 11 a.m. I could be on cloud 9, and by 7 p.m. that evening, I'd be sitting on a couch with a gun in my hand. I mean, hard not to get emotional. I
never feel sorry for being emotional.
I really, I was at a space to where I couldn't believe that I had brought my children into this.
Where's the light? Because many of you probably feel that there's this darkness and there's this thunder cloud that's constantly over you. This family has dealt with so much.
So our journey is our journey. There has to be purpose in this pain. There has to be something more powerful. I have to find something to be blessed about every day. I have to count my blessings and have gratitude every single day.
He wants to say, Everyone knows about Jody's balls, and why is that?
I have the best ball.
Oh my God. Oh, wait.